So some of the things that get me most excited about teaching is when you see the students understand their Bibles in a way in which they may not have before. They can see how something in the Old Testament can connect to the New Testament, or how the different parts of the New Testament paint a richer picture of Jesus, or when you see those lights come on in a new way, that's really, really exciting.
The first time I met Jason was during the orientation, the 2 days we did. He came and was part of the lunches and stuff and sat with us and talked to us, and yeah, it was really cool, really down to earth sort of guy, and didn't really expect that level of humility from one of the lecturers. Like, I wasn't sure what I was going to expect, but yeah, it just seemed like a very real guy that you could relate to and wasn't kind of up there.
So I first enrolled in BST in 2012. As a student, I came to do a diploma, and like so many of our students who arrive, once they find themselves engaged in the community, they find it very hard to leave. And so I extended my diploma to a degree, and then a double degree, and then I put honours on top of the Bachelor of Theology. And then my wife, Courtney, and I, we moved up to Nambour, and we were pastoring a church up there for a number of years, and it was during that time Richard invited me to come on as a tutor here at BST.
It would just be if he was in the library, I'd be like, hey Jason, how do I do a word study? And he would come and grab me a whole bunch of books, like he wasn't booked in to see him or anything, like he was doing his own thing, and then would just stop and help me for half an hour and essentially give me a tutoring session.
I slowly picked up a few little lecturing gigs here or there when someone was on study leave. That was sort of my transition, I guess, from being a tutor to more lecturing.
Like, one of my kind of favourite memories of doing classes with him was the whiteboard. Like, the other lecturers didn't really touch the whiteboard much, they kind of just had their slides and would explain what was there, whereas Jason would be getting like really amped up and he'd be writing stuff on the whiteboard. And
I do a lot of drawing. I enjoy receiving questions from the students and using those to help them understand whatever concept we're learning, how that might be relevant to what's happening in their ministry context or in their family life or something like that.
You know, he'd be so interactive with us and the ideas. Like, there's just a lot of excitement coming out of him in the classes. Like, you could tell he really, really loved what he was talking about and passionate, and yeah, it was a very exciting atmosphere, which like made all of us very excited about what he was teaching.
So next year in semester 1, I will be teaching New Testament Introduction, which is Jesus and the Gospels. And then in semester 2, I'll be teaching the second half of our New Testament Introduction course, which focuses on the book of Acts and then the epistles in the later New Testament. And then I'll also be teaching church history in semester 1, which is the church until 1550, and then also in semester 2, Old Testament. So that'll be focusing on the prophets and the writings. I hope my students next year would see Jesus in the Bible, and that in seeing him that they would be formed more in his likeness, and that they would be able to read the Bible in a more competent way, and that they would see the relevance of these texts for their own life in terms of their formation and how they might be able to equip others in their churches to be faithful believers for the Lord Jesus in their communities.